Yum, yum!
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Pixel Fondue. My name is Chris. Okay, we got this alien bughead thing going on. I think this is episode somewhere around 8. And right now I'm doing a little bit of experimenting. This first 6 minutes or so, I end up getting rid of some of this. I didn't like what I was doing here, right? I got a little bit of a custom alpha built and I was just kind of seeing what I could do. But I found it was just a little distracting, and to be honest with you, I think I could take care of what I'm doing here in Modo with just some procedural stuff on top of the model. I don't think I needed to worry about this here burning a normal map from ZBrush. But I was just kind of experimenting, checking things out. So all these little divots and all these little chip marks, I end up getting rid of in the second half of this video. But you'll just see some things going on, right? Let's see, also a little bit later you'll get to see some key shot. I usually got key shot on my other monitor. It's not running while we work, but the transfer over to the key shot is very quick when I need to get a little idea how things are looking, right? You guys will see that pretty soon, I think. I'm narrating this now, so we'll see what happens. So as you see, I've got the drag brush working. I use that a lot when I'm doing surface detailing. Drag it out, spin it around. You can use your alpha palette to change things up if you need to. Flip it, flop it, invert it, things like that. A lot of little things you can do. Now you see I'm over there in the layers part of the subtool palettes. So I'm just putting this on layers so I can get rid of it, dial it in, turn it up, turn it down if I need to. You see a little bit of the experiments I've been, oh, here we are, key shot again. You see some of the experiments I did with the fiber mesh on the antenna. I'm still not sure if I'm going to pull those into the Modo model, but I probably will at some point. Depends on how much time I have after I get everything else kind of done. And again, KeyShot's just a really nice add-on for getting ZBrush things worked out. ZBrush's render is okay, but I just never really dove into what it has to offer and all the BPR stuff and all the layers and all the way it masks things out. So I just felt that the KeyShot bridge was the way to go, and it's proven itself to be pretty nice. Just about anything I've thrown into KeyShot is a great way to get some good looks for what's happening. You see me turn everything back down. Yeah, I had some really high level settings, so when I'm just looking at things, the smaller the settings, usually the better, so I don't spend too much time trying to visualize over there, right? I want to get back into ZBrush looking around and doing the sculpting. I'll get kind of sidetracked if I've got the key shot going and open for too much. Okay, now I got this other brush here. I believe I'm on the make sure. It looks like I'm on the displacement brush. This helps keep things kind of even with the surface that I've got on the model already. It doesn't really affect the profile too much unless I'm really sculpting into it. So I'm just getting these wrinkles for a nice little contrast around the mouth. And most of this stuff right here I end up erasing out in the next half. I didn't like it. Didn't like everything on the lips like that. And again, you see I've got a new layer on the layer palette, just so I can kind of keep an eye on how things are working. This is a custom alpha I worked out and just kind of experimenting with it right now. Wanted to see how it looks, so I jumped back into the key shot. And just moving the light around, nothing too special. Again, I let that run for just a few moments to kind of get an idea of what things are looking like. Because all the stuff I'm doing right now on that model is pretty much just the high frequency detail that'll be normal map. Now I'm dropping a light on the scene so I can kind of see what's happening a little bit better idea what's happening. Again, I'm sure the people that really use KeyShot all the time know a lot better ways to do this, but I'm only using it for really the surface functions that KeyShot brings to ZBrush. I don't really do a lot more with it. I dove into it when I first got it with their node tree and doing things like that. It was pretty good, but it just seemed tedious, and it seems like the kind of stuff that I can eventually do easier and better in Modo. Okay, so now I started the second half of this model, and you're going to see I'm going to start deleting those initial 2 layers. I decided they were just too much, didn't really add anything to the model. And now I believe I'm going into that one layer, and I'm actually not smoothing that out. I'm actually going back into my morph target. If you look, the morph brush is selected. So I'm really just erasing back to my base mesh. I thought the detail on the lips were too much. I wanted to have a little bit more contrast there. And getting rid of that surface detail is was probably a better idea, I think. Again, jump key shot. I just take all the materials, link them into one, then drop my own little warm and cool light matte cap on top of it. And experimenting with a little bit of options there. This is the point where sometimes it can get distracting when all I needed to do was look and then move. Right, so I put it on the other monitor, now I'm back in. So I kind of like what happened with the lips there. Right, I'm just kind of hovering over that displacement brush. My 2 computers ago, the displacement brush just wouldn't work well for me. It was just very laggy, and I couldn't get anything done. So I never really used it. But my previous computer to this one, it started to step up. I had enough power, and it really worked great. And this computer now is more than capable of getting some quick displacement brush work. Now I'm just kind of experimenting with this on the side here. I'm going back into the back of the head on a layer, just kind of see what I'm going to do. I kind of like it, but I don't like it, right? I think maybe later on, once I finish the front and the hero spots on the surface, I might go back in and do a little bit in the back. Again, for surface details, I'm a big fan of the drag rectangle. Yeah, and some of this there's a tendency to maybe use the I guess the mirroring too much. You don't want to have too many patterns show up on each side. Sometimes you just got to turn off the mirroring and just fill it in by yourself, especially along the center lines of models. Now this alpha and surface detailing I'm starting to like a little bit, so I think I'm going to end up keeping that. The first layer and this layer was working pretty well together. I think it'll look nice. I think we're going to jump into KeyShot soon and take a look at it. Do a little quick save, make sure everything stays useful. Let's see. Okay, go back. Now I'm just going to spend a few moments just kind of looking around here. I'm really looking at the surfaces that are really straight onto the camera, perpendicular, and as the incidence kind of goes along the sides, just so I can pick up highlights, make sure the deformation and the details are kind of showing up. Again, I want this to be kind of subtle. I don't want it to be too drastic. I want this surface detail to just kind of be there, but not be too much in our face. Now, just playing with that background in KeyShot. Lots of things you can do there. Just a quick look at that material. Alright, it's starting to come to an end now. I'm just letting this cook for us so we can kind of get a look at what's happening. Now I went back down to the real basic level of the lighting so it just happens quicker. I push that on pause and goodbye.
Yum, yum!